This is a special episode of I Got Ish to Say podcast. We are here to talk about the injustice of William McNeil Jr. Hey, look, it's very obvious on the video the injustice that was done to this young man. But I want to speak to the injustice that we don't see. The injustice that we don't see, the question has been asked, why he taking so long to even bring this video forward? Well, I had the answer. He didn't know where to turn. The injustice that's done here is, where is the NAACP? Where is our black leaders here in the city of Jacksonville? They always remember to quote Malachi 3, but no one wants to quote Isaiah 61. We are supposed to speak justice or truth to power. We are supposed to speak to the injustices of men. We don't supposed to be selective of who we fight for. We're supposed to fight for the ones who can't fight for themselves. You know, last night, my team, we said, hey, let's talk about this. But I purposely said, wait, because I hope to wake up this morning and there was a statement from the NAACP or there was a statement from black leadership in this city. But there was none. We are so quick to sell our communities out for gentrification and won't provide funds for revitalization. We are quick to say it or accuse our young people for being drug dealers or rhetorics in our communities. But what are the programs that we're having to make them better individuals? This young man did everything we have trained black young men to do when stopped by the police, but yet there is no outrage. We have pastors in the city that have traveled to other cities and other states and talk about social justice. But what are you doing right here in the city of Jacksonville? Oh, is it that you can't speak out because your hands is out for something from the oppressor? Is it that you can't speak out because you're a part of the problem that happens in our black communities? This is the injustice that was done to that young man. There's no outrage from the black community. We have to stop all this from behind the pulpit and get in the streets. We often talk about, and I know I'm going to hear some people say, oh, I don't do all that. I can call TK. I have TK's cell phone number as well. But if this was your son, this was your daughter, what kind of outrage would you have? These are our sons. These are our daughters. It is our responsibility to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. There are challenges in our communities, and we want the masses to show up at the church, but the masses need you to show up in their circumstances. The masses need you to show up when problems like this occur. They need to see your face, because the masses thinking nobody cares. The masses are thinking nobody's going to show up for me. Nobody's going to fight for me. It's easy to go downtown and beg for money for your agenda, your programs. But what programs building up the communities? When I was a little kid, I would get off the school bus and there was after school programs at the church. When I was a kid, there were summer programs that parents didn't have to pay for at the church. Now the only time the church is open when it's time to collect the bag. If it's a midweek service or a Sunday morning service, oh, the doors are open. But we have these beautiful edifices that have been built on the back of oppressed people. Yes, the people who tithe in your church, the oppressed people. The people who tithe in your church, the marginalized people. The people who tithe in your church that expect something out of leadership. But yet, when it's time for the church to give back, the doors of the church are closed only except on Sunday mornings. Because why? I got to quote to you Malachi. Will a man rob God? But we're robbing our society of the justice that we are due because you won't stand up for us. Yes, I'm calling out systems, not names. So if this rock hits you and you holler, get better, do right by the people in your community. You serve the community, not only just because you sit behind a big stage or stand on a big stage or sit in a big chair in your church. You serve the community because God have challenged you in Isaiah 61. That's why you're supposed to cry out loud. Don't go to another city and a state and make people think you're doing something in your own city, because you're not. And NAACP, that was a sad indictment on you, that this young man said, I didn't even know we had an NAACP branch here. So yeah, that was an injustice to Mr. McNeil. The officers did take away his civil rights. But look at what we're doing to each other every day. We won't fight for each other, but we'll fight against each other. We won't stand up for each other because it's not convenient for you and your agenda. So the injustice I want to talk about today, and the injustice I want everybody to take away from this, where are the voices in Jacksonville, Florida, and why are these families having to go outside of Jacksonville to get justice, when the people in Jacksonville declare to the masses around the world that they are the faces and they are the voices of this city? But when it's time for situations like this, the faces and the voices are silent. There should be an outrage. D.L. Hughley should not have been the one that broadcast this. Ben Crump should have not had to come inside of our city. The noise should have started from within. You saw that video. Don't have a secret conversation and not have a public outcry. It's time for the leaders of Jacksonville to stand up. Because as I foresaid, we'll get money and let them come in and gentrify our communities, but we won't even ask anything for revitalize our communities. I got ish to say will stand on this platform every time injustice is served. And sometimes we're going to call out injustice on our own people. The video speaks for itself. We are seeking justice for William McNeil Jr., but we need our community to stand with him and his family. Preachers, it's time for you to get in the trenches, on the battlefield. God have called you to this. NAACP, change that narrative about yourself that people don't even know that you're here. Get on your job and advocate for the people of color. The fight has just started. Are you a part of it or a part of the problem? I got issues to say. We got more to talk about.